Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast presented by The Northerner. I'm your co-host, Matthew Supinger, joined once again with Alex Perez. Alex, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We got a huge rundown once again, NKU sports, talking about some college football, talking about some NFL, and then everybody's favorite segment, back again, 2 weeks in a row now.
We're on a
record
streak.
for the post-game presser. Going to check in real quick. Director Colton Smith, how are we doing, Colton?
Doing great. Just directing, doing my job, and living life, you know?
So, does the grind ever stop?
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'll get done with this. I got to record some Norse bench warmer stuff. Thursday night football, of course, and then probably going to do some coaching. I think we're going to get back into coaching some Purdue football here. Got a big game against LSU coming up, so once we're done with that, we go to bed and get up next day. We got Friday football live. It just doesn't stop.
Got to do it all again.
Yeah, just rinse and repeat,
Yeah, I mean, there's no harder working guy in the studio right now.
Never.
This guy, Colton Smith. Tip my cap to him. So starting it off, NKU sports, women's cross country. They've just, for the first time in Division I era of NKU, they have won back-to-back races at Wright State's Mike Balmer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mike Balmer Classic. Big-time win for them. They won it with 61 points. Men didn't perform as great, but they were still out there working hard and stuff like that. It looks like some of the scores that these other teams had, I don't know if you could beat them,
Right.
Some of these scores, 51, 52, tied for second, 52. But yeah, big win for the women's cross-country team. Women's volleyball, they had a big turnout this weekend for the tournament, invitational tournament with South Dakota, Louisville, Missouri, and then, of course, your own Norse. Alex, you were there for a lot of those games.
Yeah.
Were you there for all of them?
Everyone besides the one against Missouri.
What did you kind of see that stuck out to you?
Well, Joy Banks had quite the weekend. Horizon League Player of the Week. But she had a big game in Mizzou. I was just looking at the stats. She had 17 kills in that game. And the main thing I took away from that game, even against the Power 5 school, we competed. Their no set was more than 4 points, more points separated, so that was good to see. And then against South Dakota, a battle of mid-majors, so it was good to see us kind of dominate that 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Joy Banks hitting 452. Just stellar play from her.
Yeah.
And then Allie Sifke was huge with 7 blocks. And Tori with 22 assists, just getting the ball around.
Yeah.
And then lastly, against Louisville, just being competitive in the third set. They didn't play too well in the first 2 sets, but they were able to be competitive there. And just Louisville was just too steady. They weren't going to let that last set slip just to let NKU back in. So Lucy Cluxton had a big game there, double-digit in digs. Avi Stocks had 3 blocks, but overall, great weekend. Even if we didn't get the wins we were hoping for, just a big weekend for experience and just to have NKU's first tournament, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what a third set it was. I was there for the Louisville match, covering it, and what a third set that was. I mean, I had to do some live tweeting for a class. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was, you tweet up some of these drafts and stuff like that. I had a draft because it was 24-23, 24-22, something like that. Louisville was up. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to get ready in case I got a tweet about, Louisville winning it. And then NKU just went on a run there and put it all together. But, it was a phenomenal third set. I hope you all were there. It was awesome. They were giving out towels, I did see, on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Got myself one of those, not going to lie. Pretty cool towel.
It's a good get.
Very cool towel. But, yeah, they've got some another invitational coming up this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, they will be playing Marshall in Toledo. Also Friday, later, they will be playing Toledo again. They're playing Marshall that first game. They are in Toledo. Playing Marshall, Toledo, and then on Saturday at 10 a.m., they're playing Eastern Washington. All those games you can watch on ESPN+. Make sure to watch those. Then, this upcoming week, September 19th, they will be playing Xavier here at home. It's a part of the Grown Family McDonald's Invitational. Xavier will be playing Miami, Ohio Friday at 6, and then Saturday at 4, NKU is playing Miami, Ohio. So make sure you show up for that. Should be a fun one.
If you want to watch that Marshall game, just a heads up, it's at 10 a.m. They're playing some early volleyball over there.
Yeah, which I hope I'm awake for that.
Right.
I will be awake for that. But yeah, moving on, we got some big triathlon news. The women's triathlon completed the first true triathlon event in school history. That's huge. We finished third overall. It was in Indianapolis, and just some big turnouts from the teams. Alex, what was it that you kind of pulled from there that you thought was really interesting or kind of stuck out to you?
Just how the team performed overall. It looked like we had 4 in the top 15, and especially in our first true triathlon event. That's just special to be able to put up that kind of performance there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there were just some phenomenal finishes. I was saying fishes. I was looking at one of the swimming teams or swimming times. So had my mind on fishing, I guess. Triathlon. I think triathlons are just super cool in general. I mean, I'm not good at one sport.
Right.
So to be good at 3 all at the same time.
Consecutively, yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Takes a good amount of cardio, I would assume.
Yeah, so
You'll never see me doing one, but
hopefully we can get a triathlon athlete on the show soon in the spot right here. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be.
And ask them if they're ever like, this is the worst, because I know I'd probably be saying that because I'd be exhausted.
Right.
Moving on from triathlon, though, men's and women's soccer, a little bit of a week in review. You know, the men's, last time we talked, had a little bit of a rougher time going on. They did beat Western Illinois this past Sunday 3-0. That was their first win of the season, so that's huge for them. This Saturday they're playing Robert Morris at Robert Morris. This following Tuesday, which the episode should be out, we will be there. Pups at the Pitch here at NKU. They're playing Bowling Green at 7 o'clock. Make sure you show out. I mean, it's dogs.
Yeah, who doesn't want to sit by a dog while you watch a good soccer game? I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, watch some dogs while you're chilling with some dogs, you know?
That's right.
And go up to the concessions and get yourself a dog.
That's thinking right there.
So, hey, just go get yourself a glizzy. I mean, it's just the right thing to do. But yeah, what did you see in that showdown against Western Illinois that you thought was just really important? I mean, that's a huge win.
Yeah, the offense showed up, which is the biggest thing. 3-0, I mean, that's great scoring in soccer. We've been waiting on that a whole lot because the defense has been honestly awesome, locked down, but they were finally able to get some shots on goals and found themselves in the back of the net. So the biggest thing, I think, was also defense. I mean, they only got 3 shots on goal, Western Illinois did, so, and all 3 of those obviously were saved, so a pretty good overall performance for the first win.
Absolutely. Women's soccer, they lost their game last week to Eastern Kentucky 3-1. That's a tough loss, but that's big time school, you know, Eastern Kentucky. They did beat Moorhead State, though, Sunday at 1. They played them down at Moorhead, and they won 1-0. Kind of seems like the patented sort of hard-fought victory that the women's soccer team has grown to just kind of thrive on.
For sure.
What was it in that one that you kind of saw? It seems like, you know, defensive battle. Both of these teams, men and women's soccer, seem to be very good at defense. Offense is slowly picking its way up, but yeah, what did you see in that match that stuck out to you?
Well, first off, in the EKU game, it does seem like it was a little bit of a runaway with a 3-1 score, but EKU didn't score that third goal until the final minute, so that one was even closer than it looks on paper. But yeah, moving to the Moorhead game, Kylie Anderson, just with all the theatrics, 10 minutes left, gets that game-winning goal, and all 3 goalies recorded a save. I think that's the biggest part of this team is every goalie that they sub in is just solid all around.
Yeah.
So defense obviously is how we're going to have to win most of these games, but we took 14 shots, so that's aggressive offense like we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Upcoming schedule for them today is Thursday. I don't know if you guys are going to see it by then, but I hope you're at the game anyways. It's 70s at 7. They're playing Bellarmine at 7 o'clock here in Highland Heights. And then next Thursday, September 19th, another Pups at the Pitch. I know we will have someone there covering that game. And once again, it's dogs. I mean, you just got to show out. 7 o'clock, you know, a little after class. You're a little tired. Just wrapping up, you know, the first quarter of the semester. Like, man, I want something cool to do. Well, you know what? There's going to be some dogs over at the stadium.
Nothing cooler.
Nothing cooler. So, yeah, big matchup against Milwaukee, starting the conference schedule of the women's soccer next Thursday. Moving on from NKU sports, big week for them. Moving to college football now. Very interesting week 2. Some big games, some big losses, some big wins.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start it out talking about our teams. Kentucky. Big loss.
Yeah. Big is an understatement. 31-6. Not great. 2 interceptions from Brock, who played great last week.
Mm-hmm.
So that was disappointing to see, but he honestly had no time to pass the ball because the offensive line was terrible in this game. They got pressure all night, 11 penalties. So all in all, just undisciplined every way around.
Yeah.
Brock had a QBR of 1.
Oof.
So not the most ideal night, and I'm ready to forget this game and go have an easy game against Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for this week.
Should be a win.
Yeah, should be easy.
I mean, it's
cupcake. Really.
Yeah, you're scheduling easy games now. I mean, I thought this was supposed to be like some competition in the college football season.
I can't wait to see if we score 3 points. It's going to be great.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
If they score 3 points, what's your celebration?
I got to do a backflip, honestly.
Hey, yeah, let's go.
That'll be the post-game presser next week.
Okay.
I'll bet the under on that.
As you should. So, the Buckeyes, how'd they look this week?
They looked all right. They were playing a Western Michigan, pretty tough team, I think. It was a blowout, 56-0. Will Howard, continued to look good, 18 of 26, 292 and a touchdown, had a rushing touchdown. Threw up the OH after the touchdown, pretty cool. But it is kind of funny to me, he's doing, granted, we have not played tough teams.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing his job well. And I think he's playing the same role that, I'm blanking on the quarterback's name from last year, that is now at Syracuse. Whatever his name was. He's playing the same role.
Yeah.
Very similar role of just managing the offense well enough and just not being this 5-star quarterback that Ohio State has had in the past with like C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields, stuff like that. And he's doing very good at it. I mean, Quinshon Judkins, it helps when he, on less than 10 carries has 108 yards.
Yeah.
It's 12 yards a carry is what he finished averaging. Had 2 touchdowns. Travion Henderson had 10 for 66 and 2 touchdowns. It seems like, it was really just whoever wanted a touchdown was going to get it.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith had himself quite a big game. He finished with 5 receptions for 119 yards and a touchdown. Ibuka had 98 yards. Bennett Christian had 55 yards and a touchdown off 1 reception. They were just doing whatever they want. To quote Geno Smith, Jeremiah Smith is going to be the best to ever do it.
So,
yeah.
What were you most impressed with, the 273 rush yards or the only allowing 99 total yards?
I don't know, because both of those things, when you're playing a team like Western Michigan, where it's not like you're playing, I was going to say Michigan, but they also got their doors blown off, so it's not like that's big time. Where you're playing like a really competitive D1 school, both of those are things you should be doing, especially with the talent that they have. I think the defense holding Western Michigan to 99 yards is pretty good.
Very good,
That usually results in a win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably more impressive to me, but with the talent the running back room has, it's not like Travion Henderson and Judkins both had 150 yards rushing each. It very much got divvied up. So I think that's very much impressive, but I think the defense is more impressive because that's not much. I did want to say, Julian Sayin, he is statistically right now the best quarterback I've ever seen. 2 for 2 this past Saturday, 61 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
So 100%.
Put him in, coach.
Completion percentage and a touchdown. So I don't see it. He has a 1 touchdown to every 2 passing attempts.
Literally has never been better numbers.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was big time. Colton, what did you do on your week off from coaching and stuff like that? Because Purdue, wasn't playing.
Yeah, so on my week off from coaching, Garrett's here, by the way.
Hey,
He
Garrett.
didn't want to be a back this time.
Oh man, he's gonna
behind
love.
me.
Gonna love my post game presser.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's gonna love it. But yeah, on my off week, I just kind of, did what all champions do and did not take a week off. I mean, I had these fellas working night and day because we have Notre Dame this week, folks. We have Notre Dame. Yeah.
It looked tough, but
yeah, pretty tough. I mean, they beat Northern Illinois, or they did not beat Northern Illinois at all. So, yeah, I think you don't win championships taking days off. You don't. Like, that's just how it works. But I maybe took a little trip to Tahiti or whatever. Just
Okay.
a little coach stuff. But yeah,
There's a recruiting visit.
yeah, recruiting visit, of course. We had his big O lineman down there that we're trying to pick up. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how the week off was. I did want to give a shout out to Colorado for continuing to be the most overrated program the last 2 years. But I will say that those first 3 wins, the first 3 weeks is that was a special first 3 weeks last year. But now we've gone full circle where they have lost to Nebraska, the team they beat. So.
Yeah.
yeah, I had some biggest surprises on here. Surprisingly enough, Colorado did not make the list.
Wow. Really? You weren't surprised by them?
No, I can't wait to watch them.
Oh my goodness.
Get killed in their next national televised game, which is next week.
Hey, they gotta worry about Colorado State, boys. Like,
That's right.
that was a struggle last year. What is it going to be this year? You know?
It'll be ugly.
Yeah, it's going to be. If they lose that game, it's going to be. Oh, social media is going to be beautiful.
Oh, it's just gonna be the best I've ever seen. It's in like 5-10 years from now, this is gonna be one of those things, one of those teams where it's like, F it, the Shadur Sanders, Deion Sanders led Buffalo highlights or Colorado highlights. I always call them Buffalo Colorado highlights, and then it's just gonna be the first 3 weeks of last season. That's it.
By the way, the quarterback you were looking for was Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord. He is balling out at Syracuse, though.
He
I will
is.
say he's a beast.
I knew it was Kyle, but I was gonna say Kyle Trask, and I was like, that's not right.
Same thing.
I kept on getting him mixed up with Grayson McCall.
That's fair. So yeah, quick college football recap. Surprises from week 2. What was your surprise? I know my surprise.
I think we had the same one.
Okay.
Northern Illinois, as we were just talking about.
Oh yeah. I forgot that game
They
happened.
upset the Irish of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard with 163 pass yards and 2 interceptions.
I just want to say
Those are big time numbers.
they are. That's potentially undrafted numbers. I just want to say that this Notre Dame team is different than teams in the past. They are worse than the teams in the past because they lost earlier than the teams in the past. They lost. Riley Leonard's doing worse than Sam Hartman was last year. But I love Sam Hartman. He's
Hey,
good.
don't sleep on Sam Hartman.
Hey, he's got great hair.
That's an XFL legend right there.
He's got great hair.
But shout out Ontario Brown of Northern Illinois, who had 126 reception yards and 99 rush yards. That's a heck of a game right there.
That's a
Wait
game you take a big
minute.
nap after.
Was anybody ever seen Antonio Brown and Ontario Brown in the same room?
That's a great question.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
need
think
to
we have.
DNA check these guys. Might be something we're missing here.
That's hard hitting journalism, Colton.
That's what they pay me the big bucks for, boys.
That's why we hired you. That's details like that we're
The
missing.
investigative services.
I don't really think I have like the biggest surprises besides the Notre Dame game. I'm still very surprised by Oregon. Not to hate on Boise State because they obviously have some talent out there, but Oregon is really struggling. I mean, last week the offense was very slow. This week the offense was better, but the defense was worse. And granted, they have like probably the best running back, one of the best running backs in the country. Almost said the best running back. Don't forget.
Watch out.
And it's like you only beat Boise State by 3, unranked Boise State. So, yeah, I don't know. That one kind of surprised me. The Alabama game, obviously they end up winning in a blowout, but that was up until like the last 10 minutes, I'd say, of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And they kind of looked like Jalen Milroe looked like his head was backwards and he didn't know what was going on.
It was very tight till the very end of the third quarter, really. And I stepped away to do something, and then I looked back at the score, and I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that was a good game to watch. And then Alabama scored like
100.
2 straight touchdowns. I was like, all right, well, I'm not watching this game anymore.
Yeah.
That was enough. But yeah, college football makes me so happy. It makes me giddy. You know how people will say like, oh, I'm sitting here kicking my feet and smiling.
Yeah.
That's how college football makes me feel.
I just can't wait to see how Notre Dame does against the powerhouse that is Purdue.
They are not ready, folks. I mean, we are Big Ten champions this year, so
This might be the hottest episode one after that matchup.
For sure, yeah.
That's gonna be a big one. Might get some.
I have some intro music that I have to play if we win this one.
And they still got to go to USC and play them, so they may actually make it to the Music City Bowl this year. They got big things coming.
Well, anymore, everybody makes it to a bowl game.
We own that one. We own that bowl. We own the state of Tennessee.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Hey, look at the history, boys.
No argument from me.
Yeah.
You're not going to meet a bigger Tennessee hater than me, so.
Moving on from college football now, NFL. We're so back. We're
We
back.
are.
I'm not very happy, but we are back. Week 1 takeaway. I'll start with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, what's your week 1 takeaway?
I know this is going to come as a shock, but Kansas City is still really good.
Oh man.
Xavier Worthy just honestly takes that offense to another level. It seems like he is going to be like a Deebo Samuel type threat, I think, for them. Another thing I took away was Lamar still struggling when it matters most. Missing 2 wide open receivers at the end of a game for the win is not a good look.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback in the league. He had a 9.3 QBR this week, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's single-handedly going to ruin the Browns' season on a team that should be at the top of the AFC, and now they're going to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
How about you? What did you see?
That last take, I think I was going to ask you, do you think he is a worse quarterback or a worse person?
Person, for
I
sure.
was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing. You saw that clip?
Oh my gosh, he is something. Did you guys? Yeah, the whole burner account.
Yeah.
Womp womp. Well, what about his character, dude? Your character's also extremely bad.
Terrible, yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to get here.
Less than a 9 QBR.
Your personality has a 0 QBR.
That's just 9 QBR higher than what I had last week, and I didn't even step on the field.
You threw less interceptions than Deshaun Watson did last week. So
Dude had a 42 QBR last season. He was cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, big time.
Oh, is that his season QBR?
Big time numbers, yeah.
Oh my god!
In those 6 games, man, it didn't get any better.
That is
Deshaun
disgusting.
Watson.
that is disgusting.
Hey, if you ask Ben Miller, that's the best offense in the NFL.
Best offense with a backup
I
quarterback.
was about to say, to be fair, the offense around Deshaun Watson is
Yeah.
very good. It's just they play with Deshaun Watson, so
Yeah.
you're out of luck.
I think you could probably pull Stefanski off the sideline. He'd be better at quarterback than Deshaun Watson would be. My takeaways from week 1. What do I want to talk about here? Oh yeah, Zach Taylor sucks. Zach Taylor is horrible. I'm not going to try and copy Josh's little rant there. I'm not trying to be a bit biter or anything like that. But it was disgusting. That was embarrassing.
You don't have the balls.
I think that's perfect. Print it on a shirt. I'll be buying all of those.
Clip that for sure.
Yeah. It was disgusting to watch. Luckily I didn't. I was doing the volleyball game. I was
Yeah.
doing play-by-play for the volleyball game, so I didn't have to sit in my room and cry watching the worst football performance I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't know. It's really sad. It's kind of just like a major bummer. Like I was listening to the final drive from each team on my way back from the game, and it was 4th and 5 or something, and they're like, Lapham's like, "Oh, do you go for it here?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I think so." Nope, they punted it. And they're like, "Well, do you think the defense has a good shot?" No, dude, that defense isn't stopping me from throwing a water bottle through it.
That defense isn't stopping a YouTube video.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the takeaways. The other takeaway is, what's a good one? Oh yeah, the Rams are still pretty good. You know, like no
That's
matter
fair.
what, like it's just that's my game of the week, and I feel like it's just a kind of an easy pick. It was an amazing game, but the Rams being down, what was it, 2 tackles and a couple corners,
Mm-hmm.
and then Nakua left and like early in the game, and they still played great. Cooper Kupp is
Terrific, yeah.
still amazing. Yeah, but the Rams are still very impressive, and it's kind of a bummer as a Bengals fan to watch week 1. They come out and they play really well against defending NFC championship contenders,
Mm-hmm.
and then we come out and we look like a bunch of middle schoolers against potentially the worst team in the AFC.
I don't know about you, but I was having a good time.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was-
sure. I'm sure you were, man.
I was at the volleyball game having a good time listening to Colton and Garrett and Phil all talk about the game, and it was a good time. They seemed like they were having a little despair, but I was having quite the time. Ramondre Stevenson on my fantasy team running right through you all. It was beautiful to see, honestly. But yeah, this team really does have, the Bengals have some problems to address.
It's the play calling is. Did you see the passing chart? Joe Burrow's passing chart from week
It was,
1?
yeah, it was bad.
What are we doing?
Maybe on me. My apologies if my lock of the week cursed you all.
Yeah.
But it seemed like destiny that you all are going to win and finally get the monkey off your back of the early season troubles. And you didn't.
Yeah, you'd think so, you know.
But much like Kentucky, like I mentioned earlier, it gets easier this week for the Bengals. So
We got who?
you all have Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
My final takeaway before I kick it over to you, Colton. Saquon Barkley is still amazing.
Oh, I actually have one more as well.
Oh, yeah.
Do you all miss Joe Mixon, or how y'all feeling there?
Okay. All right.
Okay, anyways, Colton, your turn.
Y'all said it all. My Saquon was actually one I was going to bring up that you brought up at the end, as Garrett knows very well back here. He had quite the game in fantasy for me. I think 33 points. So, but yeah,
Pretty good.
The night and day difference. Henry still looked good, but there is definitely a difference in the way that the Eagles used Barkley and the way that the Ravens used Henry. It was almost like the Ravens seemed like they didn't really know how to use Henry as effective as the Eagles used him, at least from my point of view. Henry's still going to be Henry, but I did notice that. Other than that, your take on the Rams was great. I would also mention the Lions look just as good as well.
Yeah.
But the Rams, they were my dark horse Super Bowl pick, so looking good there. Other than that, the Bills kind of surprised me how they came back from being down, but the fact they were down first kind of surprised me there. Other than that, it seemed like a kind of chalky week, I would say. I mean, there was that team called the Carolina Panthers doing their normal thing of making every team they play look like the best team in the NFL. Like there is legitimate conversations. Oh, this is Derek Carr's year. Yeah, we'll see about that against Dallas on Sunday.
Calling the Panthers a team is very generous, honestly.
Yeah.
They need relegation. I mean, I've seen so many depressed Panthers fans on my fan on my timeline. Like, I feel bad for Carolina because there's a chance they could lose their team, right? Like at this point, like they're so bad.
Man, I hope so. I really hope so.
Just pick up shop, go somewhere else. St. Louis could use a team. Josh thinks Cincinnati's going to St. Louis, so let's just put Carolina in St. Louis and they'll fix it.
We need a G League more than ever for the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Put them in the XFL. They might win 2 games.
Yeah. I was going to say, you were talking about Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley and how they were used. I think keyword there is used, of which Derrick Henry was not.
Fair.
Hardly at all.
Yeah, that's actually the
Lamar
exact
was
point.
RB1 for sure, yeah.
You're not going to beat the running back allegations if you don't use a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also if you don't, like, when we need you to be a quarterback, you don't be a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
don't
need
even
you
get me started.
We need you to be a quarterback. Watch his 5-yard run.
Like, don't get me wrong, as a running back and a quarterback, Lamar Jackson is still a top 5 regular season QB, but when we need you to be a QB in the playoffs, we already know, like, there's no reason, nothing in that game showed me that you improved really on anything except they went to the pistol from, like, under center. Like, nothing really changed in the actual Lamar Jackson experience.
Yeah.
But listen, Ravens, I'm not
And
just saying
that's
this.
your fantasy QB.
I was going to say, I'm not just saying this because Lamar's on my fantasy team. Keep running that ball. Let him do what he wants to.
He's playing this week, right? I did see he was having a little. He just didn't show up to practice or something on Tuesday. Okay.
Forget Derrick Henry. Lamar can run you to a Super Bowl.
Just use a backup quarterback and have him come in to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Lamar Jackson running back. Let's see it.
Real quick, we'll go around. I already said my game of the week. Do you have a different game of the week?
It's really hard to pick, honestly. Definitely wasn't the Steelers game, I'll tell you that. That offense looked dreadful. Probably the Chiefs and the Ravens, honestly. That game was exciting.
That was a good game.
It was a little disappointing to see my fantasy quarterback not hit those 2 wide open touchdowns at the end of the game. But
not do the quarterback thing?
Besides that, it was honestly a very exciting game. But both opening weekend games were very exciting, and week 1 was great altogether. It was really hard to pick.
Yeah. Colton, did you have a different game of the week?
I'll just go for the, I guess, basic one, the Packers and Eagles. That was a great game. We were watching it at Friday Football Live a little bit, and then I went to Max and watched the rest of it. So I hate the ending, though, with Jordan Love getting hurt, because that was somebody I thought was an MVP candidate this year, and really through that first game he looked like it. The Eagles might be at least one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and the Packers are right there with them with a chance. I don't know if they would have gotten down there. They didn't have much time, but just the fight we saw from them, and that was probably my favorite game. If you don't have that Jordan Love injury, it still was a great game through and through, though. But yeah, hopefully Jordan Love can come back and be healthy, be the Jordan Love we saw in Game 1. And I don't know if he can compete for MVP anymore, but he still got that Super Bowl ring that he can go for. So
yeah,
that's pretty nice, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be kind of good. I've heard.
We wouldn't know anything about that over here in Cincinnati, but yeah, we know making it there, I guess, is pretty cool. Do we say anything about the Texans? That was another thing I wanted to bring up.
That was a pretty good game.
That Texans and Colts look legit. Anthony Richardson, I saw one where he stumbles to start the play, just gets back up, throws a ball to Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
And Alec Pierce apparently was going 21 miles per hour on that or something. I don't even know. It was nuts, though. But yeah, that Texans look like probably the second best team in the AFC. Colts, honestly, we'll see what they're like against other teams, but they could be up there with the top teams of the AFC. So Bengals, not so much.
They were there, man.
They are a team in the AFC. We'll just see what type, I guess.
That Texans run game is good stuff. I got to tell you. I don't know if y'all saw it.
Oh yeah,
but you got to look into it.
Yeah,
it's good
I think
stuff.
I've heard of that guy behind center.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I feel like I have a Bengal shirt for some reason with that guy on it.
Yeah, I feel like he was on the Bengals, but for some reason, I couldn't imagine why. I don't think he was that good.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mixon was good.
You got the jersey swap shirt? That's
he was
cool.
good, but
yeah, great week in the NFL though, all around. If we don't have any more NFL stuff to talk about, you guys want to get into the post-game presser?
I'm ready.
All right. You want to kick it off with yours, or you want to start with mine?
I can kick it off, sure.
All right. Let's see it. I've been in angst for this. So
just 1 second here, fellas. Just loading it up.
All good.
I'm going to get a little transition here.
Oh, I did want to say, too, stop tweeting. Not you. Not directing this at you. Stop tweeting stuff like useless stats. I saw something this morning. I was telling you about it. Marvin Harrison was going 16 miles per hour. That was his fastest run. He didn't get the ball. I don't care how fast he's running. If he's not scoring, or if he's not even getting the ball, the dude could run 2 miles an hour. He's also still one of the most talented. He is the most talented rookie wide receiver.
For sure, yeah.
I don't care how fast he's running.
Yeah, just need to get the ball to him,
Yeah.
It's a pretty important part of being a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Having the ball thrown in your direction.
At least he's not Rasheed Rice going 109
don't blame
miles per hour.
Toddler. Don't blame Kyler Murray. It's his coach's fault. It's his coach's fault, right?
It's not Kyler Murray's job.
Yeah, it's not his job. It's not his job to throw a football.
Yeah.
No. I say that as Kyler Murray's probably biggest defender this offseason, but week 1 did not look pretty. Anyways, let's get to the what do you guys call it? The
post-game presser.
Post-game presser.
What kind of director is this?
Yeah.
Get this guy out of the booth.
It's literally on the rundown, but
it's on the rundown. I read it a little late. All right, here we go.
All right, Marshall versus Virginia Tech right
so
here.
we were stuck in the middle.
Hey.
Oh, okay, here we go.
There we go.
Oh, no way.
That was so bad.
Why is it on? All
That's what I wanted to show y'all, the elite from everybody in the game.
We were just talking about posting about
just a
speed.
little slow motion. Yeah.
This
There we go.
is Christian Fitzpatrick absolutely mossing his defender
That's disgusting.
at Moss University, you know? Randy Moss went to Marshall, and he's looking just like him.
I don't think you can show your face on the field after that.
No, the one-handed catch.
Yeah, you got to change your jersey number, last name, everything.
Snatch it like he talked about his mama. That's,
Back-to-back weeks of just absolute smackers from Alex. Man, that was a good one.
what do you got?
My post-game presser, this one, yet again, not a highlight at all. Just something I thought was funny, and thought some of the people in the booth might get a little kick out of this one.
We're getting it. There we go. All right. Let's put it
Sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. Sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. Sitting here
Yeah, I gotta get it.
again.
Gotta
We're sitting here
trying to get
again
Garrett to see it.
talking about the same things.
Okay,
Sitting
okay.
here
Solid.
again. We're sitting
All right. Now we're going back to there.
You guys floss? Big flossers?
I floss. I
Yeah.
dabble. I do it every once in a while. You know, some weeks I'm flossing. Other weeks not so much.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
It's better than the average, non-flosser. So, what about you, Matt? Do you floss?
No, not that often. I do, but it's usually if I have something stuck in my teeth.
Hey, it's a silent killer.
That's crazy.
Dang, that's true. It is a time killer. I hope my dentist did see that clip. Don't show my dentist that clip.
Dennis watched the podcast.
Maybe, man. We're
We're
gonna find
clipping
out.
that just for your dentist.
We're gonna find out if I show up to my
Matt,
next
have you
appointment.
flossed? Of course. Well,
Now that I see
actually,
you, roll the tape.
Roll the tape. He's got receipts now.
Alex, are you a big floss guy?
for sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, usually it is after meals, but I try to brush my teeth after meals and
Okay.
floss.
Do you see it as a key part of your game?
For sure.
Okay.
You can't be the best smile in the game if you don't floss, you know?
Where do you rank yourself in today's game? Because it has evolved so much in flossers.
Well, I'm self-proclaimed best smile in the game. Nobody's ever called me that.
Okay.
But
Let's see that smile.
I'm pretty high up there.
Yeah, let's see the smile.
I'd rather not.
Brought the floss this morning.
I was running out the door or whatever you want to call it. And so didn't get the chance to. But big floss guy.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good one. I'm glad to hear that. Are you just trying to cover your tracks or something?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Got it.
I don't even know what floss means.
I'm kidding. Oh, meant to. Whoops. Look at that. Perfect pass.
They never even saw it.
Don't even call me Kirk Cousins, man. That was a better pass than him.
Anyways, before we get out of here, go get you a Northerner magazine. It's great. Me, Matt, and so many other people worked really hard on it. Go pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, and then I almost forgot the best part of the entire show.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any last notes real quick before we sign off?
That was kind of it.
That was your last note?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Colton, do you have anything?
Nah, I'm good. You know me.
Okay. All right. I did have a little something real quick. It's a subject that's really just been touching me. Well, it's been very, it's just touched my heart. I heard a conversation the other day at my work, and it was a grandfather and his grandson, and the grandson was telling his the grandson was telling his grandfather, Grandpa, I wish I was older, so that I could like do cool stuff, like drive around. I wish I could like go places with my friends and stuff like that. Like I wish I was older. And the grandfather, sorry, I'm smiling because it's such a sweet memory.
Yeah.
And the grandfather, looked down, put his hand on the grandson's back and said, grandson, sorry, I'm getting emotional now, guys.
Take your time.
He said, grandson, his name wasn't grandson, I just forget what it was now. Grandson, it's easy to sit and ponder about the future. Yet the most challenging part of life is sitting and wondering about the present. That is why the eagle sits in his nest and watches his eggs rather than thinking about flight. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Occur.
And that will do it for this week on the Beyond the Score podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BT_, then the word score. And YouTube at Beyond the Score 123. Big thanks to NKU Media Services for letting us use the studio. We will see you next week.